The president helps commemorate the 9/11 anniversary tonight. He, of course, will be going to Capitol Hill to lay out his plan to jumpstart the economy and try to create jobs. A series of measures that the White House says have gotten bipartisan support in the past. Unemployment among African Americans is now at an astounding 16.7%. Its highest level in nearly 3 decades, and that probably understates the problem in minority communities. Maryland Congressman Elijah Cummings is a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, a congressional leader, and serves on the House Oversight Committee. Good to see you. Thanks so much, Congressman. What do you want to hear from the president tonight?
I want the president to basically lay out a plan that will get Americans back to work immediately. And you know, Mr. Cantor and Mr. Boehner have already said that they want to cooperate. And I think the president needs to hold them to their word and present proposals that they've already agreed to in the past, things that they push. For example, the tax holiday, so that people have the extra $1,000 in their pocket. Keep in mind, Andrea, that back when we were doing the stimulus a year or so ago, the Republicans had their own stimulus bill for reconstruction. So, I mean, they liked it then, they should like it now. As a matter of fact, they should like it even more because we face very, very difficult circumstances. And then this idea of giving certain tax breaks to employers who want to indeed hire and do hire people, I think, again, that's a Republican proposal. We need to see that presented, and many others that the president has been talking about. But those are the kinds of things that people want to see get done. And so I'm anxious to hear the president's words. But, you know, it's sort of like a wedding, Andrea. The wedding is one thing. The marriage itself is another. In other words, I want to see what we can get done as fast as we can get it done, because Americans are out of work, they're looking for jobs. And then you have another problem, and that is that a lot of people have lost some confidence, and so our consumer spending is down a bit. And as you know, that's 70% of our economy. So we've got to, I think this is an ideal time for the president to present his case, and I know he'll do it. And he's got to go to the highest heights of his oratory ability, which is phenomenal, to let the country know that we're not talking about damage that may be done for a moment or for a week, but if we don't begin to straighten this up now and get people back to work, it could have ramifications far into the future and make it even more difficult to straighten this situation out in the future.
You know, Congressman, there are a couple of really shocking numbers out there besides the unemployment numbers, which are the most painful numbers of all. And when you talk about consumer confidence, the fact is that the debt ceiling debate all those weeks this summer was second only to 9/11 in terms of the failure of consumer confidence. Worse than Katrina, worse than the Iran hostage episode. All of these historic, tragic events in American history, and the debt ceiling debate, the congressional failure, the political breakdown, that caused more of a drop in consumer confidence than any of these other events.
Well, Andrea,
that's got to be a real cause of concern to both political parties.
It definitely should be, and that doesn't shock me. One of the things that we know from political science 101 is that when a country or a town is in trouble, they want to know that they have leadership that is stable, that is working for them and not against them. And I don't think the people want to hear us blaming each other. They want us to get something done. When you don't have the money to buy tennis shoes for your kids when they're about to go to school, they don't want to hear a blame game. They want to hear, they want to know that we're doing something. And keep in mind, our Republican colleagues, they're now beginning to feel some of the pain too, because as you know, at their town hall meetings, people are beginning to question them with regard to, you know, looking out so much for the rich, but at the same time trying to cut those things that would support the middle class. And so I'm hopeful that we can get above the politics. I'm hopeful that the president can take us there. He certainly has the ability to do that. We've got to leave our political hats at the door and walk in and do something for the American people. Not so much Wall Street, but Main Street.
Well, I know you're going to be there watching, and we'll talk to you in the days to come.
I'm going to get there early.
You'll get a good seat, an aisle seat, and we will see you in the coming days for your reaction. Thank you, Congressman.
All right, thank you.
And for the families of the victims of 9/11, the pain never ends. We'll be talking